Hey everybody, Chris Chappett here, and what's up there? That is my Kingsong 16X spike strip, as I'm calling them, for my pedal. This is my own DIY version. I'm going to do some for the Shermans, and pretty much anybody who's got a wheel and a pedal that I can reverse engineer, I should be able to do this for. Make it a good deal for Marty's group. Uh, but ultimately I could, I'm sure, ship anywhere in the world if it's something that you like. So my autofocus camera isn't working that well, but the original 16X plate had this kind of rubbery Kingsong logo trapezoid that fit into this part there and went underneath the plate. I think if I hide my eyes, this like thing will focus a little bit better. So this is the original plate held together with four flathead M4 screws, and that's an L on the bottom saying this is the left. They put just a little bit of thin tape so it doesn't vibrate when it goes down onto that kind of a honeycomb hollowed out pedal bottom. The way I chose to get my plates off of my pedals was by actually taking an ice pick like this, and knowing roughly where it was going to be, I found the hole in the screw by poking it through, because every place else it wasn't there. It doesn't even leave a mark. Matter of fact, sometimes I'd go back and I couldn't find the hole that I had already found before, and I had to locate it again. But if you do that, then you can kind of just move it around a little bit. Get an Allen wrench. I like to use these little torque guys. One of them's fitting for both the set screws that I use and that thing. But ultimately, I could back that screw out through the grip tape. And yeah, it's going to leave a hole, but that hole ends up getting plugged up by the, I'll show it to you in just a little bit. But that way I could just leave the grip on there. I don't even have to take that off. And if I want to reattach this plate later, it's got grip tape on it. So I have the spikeless plate and the original trapezoidal feature that goes on there. But what I did a little bit differently is I put the trapezoid hole like in the middle of the plate, and the result is something that looks more like this. So I think that's probably going to be in focus. I'm trying to kind of see, this is like a Where's Waldo kind of thing. But that says Kingsong on it there, and it fits. It doesn't interrupt the pattern. It had to kind of go down into this little recessed thing, but there's a position offset from its original position in there. So you get to maintain that. And part of the design here was that I was going to keep a void in the kind of in the middle of the pedal. I like spikes all around the perimeter, because I think ultimately that's, you always want some engagement, and the edges of your pedal are like guaranteed there. Then I have like five that are pretty much always going to cover like the heel, and then five of these things that are going to always be on your the ball of your foot. But I just think where the arch is and in the middle isn't necessarily that big a deal, although I do have one in the middle at the very edge, because again, I think, you know, the edge is important. But I think that's going to be enough. I'm going to try this thing out. I used, you know, Vicious Grip. These are 10 by 11 inch sheets. You get four of those for about 17 bucks. And one of these can do two pedals. You can kind of see how that's going to, you know, work out, where you get, you know, two of those. And then what else is shaken? So, oh yeah, just in terms of how how that gets constructed. So I have one of these here, and basically by pushing this thing through the backside, you know, it's going to end up being kind of flush or near flush with the front, and so that turned out to be kind of a nice feature to be able to repurpose that Kingsong logo there. I have some of this little thin black stuff that I use to keep it from vibrating. I'm probably going to anodize the aluminum that I use black in the future, because ultimately the pedal is black, the grip tape is black. So if you have shiny metal in between those, I don't think it quite looks right. Worst case scenario, I'll just take some flat black paint and do that. I had only some enamel last night. I touched those up and painted them. They're still tacky today. I cannot believe how long it's taking for that crap to dry. So I don't need gloss. I need stuff that'll dry fast. And but ultimately, I think anodization should work. So this is cheesy because I just did it very quickly. But the underside has a couple of these strips, the logo thing in the middle, and that's going to just be kind of an anti-vibrational padding between the plate and the pedal, and proof positive that that stuff hasn't dried. You can see the lovely black crap on my fingers. So now I don't want to touch anything, including my mouse, because I'm going to get paint on it. So yeah, so this was the brainchild, which was to get that that Kingsong logo thing in the middle, pull this plate down. These are the four M4 studs, and then all these cone points. Turns out I'm using 5/16 of an inch length, all flush on an 1/8 of an inch, aluminum plate. And the bottom line is, you get that. And I think I kind of nailed it. Maybe I should go back to this other screen, but I'm going to go ahead and mount these things on my wheel, try them out tonight, and then tomorrow we'll be out at that canyon with Marty on 16Xs trying them out. So I think he's got some of the e-wheels, the Technica 4 sport pedals or whatever they're called there, and I'll have mine. And even though I know he doesn't like to swap wheels, I think if it's just like a 16X versus 16X and we're not really going to go off jumps, but we just want to feel what the spikes are like. But I think they're going to be very comparable. There's 23 spikes, I think, on theirs, and I did 19, so I'm a little bit more sparse. Then what else? You got your blue thread lock if you're into numbers. 242 is a medium. And when they write the thing in blue letters, or they actually put blue on it, then you know that it's the blue. Red is somewhat of a permanent. Like if you put it in a toaster oven or put a heat gun on it, you can back out things that have been, locked down with the, quote, permanent red Loctite. So for purposes of these plates, I use the blue, the 242, and it seems to hold well. I guess the only other things is that a lot of people, or some people, may not know how pedals work, but coming in from one side, you've got this pin, and that is, of course, the wrong side, but that pin will go through, and then you have it's a 10 millimeter, like an M10 set screw, and I think a 5 millimeter, hex. So basically, you'll, get that guy on there, stick it in there, and engage it, and that's it. Sometimes you may need a long thing coming down the other side to bang it out with like a hammer or a mallet or something to get it going. but it's a pretty simple thing to get your pedals on and off. But honestly, if I had these, I had to make them, so I needed my pedals off to reverse engineer it. But you don't have to take your pedals off in order to go from a regular pedal to a spike strip. That is the, of course, the mandatory cell phone during the video alarm. And now I'm trying to figure out why the hell, oh, because I have a battery charging somewhere that I want to take off. So let's just stop that, and let's stop this video. I'll give you updates onto how this works, and assuming that it works well, maybe put them up for sale and see who's interested in these. And then the Sherman, Marty's helping me with some of the specs. You may have seen that, but just wanted to give you an update. I'm pretty stoked. These things look like the real deal. Got vicious grip plus spikes plus the original logo. What could possibly go wrong? Okay, ciao.